Extravagant Fragrances back here again really quick. So one of the common mistakes that newbie beginners make when they get into the oils, whether you be a retail customer or a wholesale customer, is they tend to think that all suppliers carry basically the standard same exact fragrances. So I'll give you an example, right? So let's say if you're looking for, I don't know, let's say Egyptian musk, right? One of the biggest misconceptions is that, well, all Egyptian musk is the same. So I'm gonna go over here and this supplier across the city is gonna have the same exact Egyptian musk as the other supplier on the other side of the city. And that's just not the case. You know, you could use that example, let's say with any of the compared to fragrances, let's say like Creed, for example, right? There's no guarantee that two suppliers are both going to have the exact same version that you're looking for, right? Because there are so many variables, such as, oh, the bug almost flew in my mouth, such as maybe they're getting their stuff made in different places. Maybe it's coming from a different country, right? Maybe the duplication process of the compared to fragrance is coming from a different country, right? So you can't compare and just say, well, he's got it over there, I'm gonna go over here. That supplier, they may be getting the fragrance made in the same place, right? They might be getting it in the same place, and you might be thinking, well, they're getting it made in the same spot, so I'm just gonna go over here because so-and-so down the street has got it for about $5 cheaper. Okay, whatever the case may be, right? He might be telling you, I got, you know, XYZ fragrance over here. You might ask for it. They might have it. And you're like, well, shoot, I can get a pound for that price versus the other guy over there. Well, I'm going to go switch to this guy. You have no way of knowing if the cheaper competitor, if the quality is the same, right? He could very well be giving you that price point because that was the price point he paid for when the product got made, okay? Versus the other guy that cost maybe a few bucks more. You could be exchanging quality when you decide to go the cheaper route, you know. And I find that to be the case sometimes in this industry. People get very greedy, and I've seen it so many times. People get greedy. You know, they got their accounts. They have different stores all over the city, whatever the case may be, right? And they just jump ship to another supplier only to find out that now they've got the product sitting on the racks. They've got it sitting on the shelves, okay? And now they can't move that product. Why? You got greedy. You got greedy, just plain and simple, okay? And like I said, I've seen that so many times. And so that's why it's the selection process and the kind of fragrances that you bring in can take a lot of time sometimes. It can take a lot of time to sit there, put it out there, wait, get feedback from the right people, right? And so that is how this goes. Just because, like I said, if you have one fragrance from another place doesn't mean it's going to be exactly the same at another place, even if the fragrance is made in the same manufacturing facility. Sorry, I'm a little out of wind. I gotta get my cardio in gear. And because many of the manufacturers will always ask you, what is your price point? What's your budget? What are you working with? How much does this product need to cost? What ingredients? What are the notes you want to have in this product, right? You could have a fragrance that, let's say, I don't know, let's say you got Chanel, right, compared to Chanel. Okay, your Chanel that you currently have may have totally different ingredients, more premium ingredients, right? And then you go over to the other guy who's like, listen, I'll give it to you $5 cheaper. Well, it might be $5 cheaper, but you're taking a hit on the type of ingredients that's being used to make that duplicate, that compared to fragrance. Okay, they may be using a cheaper ingredient. And this is something that I learned very early on in the personal fragrance industry, is that there are more cost-efficient ingredients that can be used to basically achieve similar results. Okay, so best way I can explain is, let's say you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, right? You want to get a paint duplication, and that paint, it may be slightly off. It might not be the exact same copy as the paint that you bring in, right? Because maybe it was off a little or whatever. And so the copy machine, which I believe is called the technology is called a, dang it, I forgot the name of that technology. Gas chromatography or something like that. So what happens is they will use substitute colors to make up for the lack of the original color that you brought in. And so it might not be exactly the same. It might be very, very close to what it is that you brought in, but it might be just slightly off, but just enough to get the job done. And so that's kind of what you are dealing with when you come in and you're like, well, I'm going to go over there. That guy might be using cheaper ingredients, right? That guy may not be using premium ingredients. Okay, and that is the difference between a pure oil, okay, and just a cost-efficient oil. You know, the cost-efficient oil, maybe that works for some people. You know, you're hitting let's say you need to, let's say if it's a fragrance that's already let's say if it's a fragrance that already moves well, and let's say your crowd that you're selling to, they don't even know what the original smells like. So even if you introduce the cheaper version with the cheaper alternatives as far as ingredients goes, it might not even matter to them, because they probably don't even know what the original smells like, right? Let's say you got a duplicate of let's say a Saks Fifth Avenue fragrance that costs like $800, okay? The majority of people are not going to go to these like really high-end department stores, so they don't even know what the original smells like anyway, right? So if you got a duplicate of that and it's being duplicated with more cost-efficient ingredients that are just cheaper, and it just kind of gets the job done. It doesn't smell very, 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 very close, but it's like close enough to make a pass, right? Then that may work, but just keep that in mind. Like when you're shopping around, just know that not every supplier is going to have this uniform standard fragrance all over the country, right? That's how I know. When I get those emails and people are like, this fragrance doesn't smell like so-and-so's, right? Well, I'm like, well, that's because it's not it. Wherever you got the first fragrance from, then you need to go back to that person if that's the one that you want, because this is a duplicate, this is an interpretation, and it is not the same fragrance. So I hope I kind of drove my point home. And if you like this discussion, like this topic, like, subscribe, share. Any suggestions on upcoming videos, throw them down in the comment section, and I'll see you soon, everybody. Take care.